Have you ever felt like you're screaming at a brick wall, but the wall is your own life? You've done the vision boards. You've spent months practicing gratitude. You've read the books that told you to just think positive and your reality would shift. But here's the problem. Your bank account hasn't changed. Your relationships are still a cycle of the same old friction. And that heavy, suffocating feeling in your chest, it's still there every morning. Most people think they have a mindset problem. They think they just aren't disciplined enough or that they haven't found the right mantra yet, but they are looking in the wrong place. There is a biological bouncer standing at the gates of your future, and it doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about one thing, keeping you exactly where you are. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you why manifesting, while your nervous system is fried, is like trying to download a 4K movie using 1990s dial-up connection. It is physically impossible. We are going to strip away the woo-woo fluff and look at the cold, hard neuroscience of the vagus nerve, the reticular activating system, and why your brain is literally blind to the opportunities that could change your life. If you feel stuck, it's not because you're failing. It's because your hardware is locked in a survival loop. By the end of this video, you will have the literal reset button for your biology. To understand this, we have to look at the brain's hierarchy. Most people try to manifest from the prefrontal cortex. This is the seat of logic and goal setting. It's the CEO of your brain. But the CEO doesn't actually run the building. The autonomic nervous system does. It's the foundation of everything you feel. According to polyvagal theory, our nervous system operates on 3 levels. Think of it like a ladder. The top rung is the ventral vagal state. This is the safe and social mode. Your heart rate is steady, your digestion is active, and your brain is open. This is the only state where creativity and manifestation are possible. But below that is the middle rung, sympathetic. This is fight or flight. Your body is flooded with cortisol. You aren't looking for opportunities. You're looking for threats and ways to escape. At the bottom is the dorsal vagal state, shut down or freeze. This is where you feel numb, unmotivated, and stuck. The modern world has hijacked your ladder. Because of chronic stress and notifications, most of us are living 90% of our lives in survival. Now, ask yourself, if you were being chased by a predator, would you stop to think about your 5-year plan? No. Your brain shuts down every non-essential function, including your ability to see new possibilities, just to keep you alive. That is your current reality. When you are deregulated, your brain treats your big dreams as a threat because they represent change, and change is unpredictable. To a survival-based brain, predictable misery is safer than unpredictable joy. This is why you self-sabotage. It's a biological emergency brake. Let's get deeper into the hardware. There is a cluster of nerves at the base of your brain called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. This is the most important piece of real estate in your head when it comes to changing your daily reality. Your brain is hit with roughly 11 million bits of data per second. If you tried to process all of it, your brain would melt. So, the RAS acts as a filter. It decides what gets through to your conscious mind and what gets deleted. Think of it like a Google search filter for your life. If you decide you love vintage watches, you'll suddenly see them everywhere. They were always there, but your RAS was deleting them because they weren't relevant. Your RAS takes its orders from your physiology. If your nervous system is stuck in high alert, your RAS is programmed to only look for evidence of why things are going wrong. You will walk right past a $1 million idea because your RAS has flagged it as irrelevant to survival. This is the broken compass. You can have the best intentions, but if your physiology is set to scarcity, your compass will always point toward more scarcity. I once had a client who felt exhausted every time he tried to work. He thought he was lazy. But it wasn't laziness. His nervous system was in a dorsal shutdown because his body associated business with his father's past bankruptcy. His RES was hiding solutions to keep him safe on the couch. Until you reset the hardware, you are playing a game you are programmed to lose. Why is it so hard to just relax? Why does your body fight you when you try to change? The answer is homeostasis. Your body has a set point for everything: your temperature, your pH balance, and yes, your chronic stress levels. If you have lived in a state of high cortisol hustle for years, your body has actually become addicted to those chemicals. Your cells have more receptors for stress hormones than for joy hormones. When you try to manifest peace, your body goes into withdrawal. It feels wrong. It feels dangerous. This is the identity trap. You think you are anxious Alex or struggling Sarah. But those aren't identities. They are chronic physiological states. When you move toward a new life, your nervous system sends out a warning signal. It screams, "Revert to the known chaos immediately." This is why people win the lottery and lose it all, or leave a toxic relationship only to find the same person again. Their circumstances changed, but their internal thermostat was still set to crisis mode. Manifestation is about becoming a person whose nervous system can handle the weight of the dream. If you want $1 million business, you need a nervous system that doesn't collapse under the pressure. The manifestation happens when your body realizes that the new you is safe. We've established the why. Now let's talk about the how. Most self-help tells you to change your thoughts to change your body. But 80% of the vagus nerve signals go from the body to the brain. We must go bottom up. Here is your reset protocol. Phase 1 is the physiological side. The fastest way to tell your brain the tiger is dead is through the breath. Inhale deeply through your nose. At the very top, take a second, shorter sip of air to fully expand. Then, exhale slowly through your mouth. This second inhale reinflates the alveoli in your lungs, increasing oxygen exchange and triggering the vagus nerve to slow the heart rate instantly. Do this 3 times, and you've just manually overridden your stress response. It is a biological kill switch for anxiety. Phase 2 is sensory grounding. When you're stuck in a loop of what if it fails, your RES is spiraling. Use the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Name 5 things you see that are blue. Name 4 textures you can feel. Name 3 sounds and 2 smells. This forces the brain out of the default mode network, where you ruminate on the past, and into the task positive network. It tells your RES, look here, now, we are safe. Finally, phase 3, vagal toning. Challenge your system to build resilience. At the end of your shower, turn the water to cold for 30 seconds. Or practice the VU breath. Take a deep breath and make a low, vibrating VU sound from your belly. These vibrations physically stimulate the vagus nerve, signaling the rest and digest system. When your nervous system is reset, when you are living in a ventral vagal state, you aren't fighting for your dreams. You are aligning with them. You'll notice that when you are regulated, luck seems to find you. People call you with opportunities out of nowhere. You have the gut feeling that tells you exactly which move to make. That's not magic. That is a brain that is finally working at its full potential. If you don't reset your nervous system, you will stay exactly where you are, no matter how hard you work. But the moment you convince your body that it is safe to expand, the wall disappears. You don't need to want it more. You need to breathe, regulate, and let your biology do the heavy lifting. Your dream life is on the other side of a reset. Now that you've cleared the static, you need to give that bouncer in your head, your RES, a new set of instructions. I've broken down the specific neurological cheat codes to reprogram your brain's filter in this video right here. Click this, and let's move forward together. Now, let's go deeper into why some people seem to handle massive success effortlessly while others crumble at the first sign of a win. This is what psychologists call your window of tolerance. It's the zone where you can handle life without flipping your lid. When your nervous system is dysregulated, your window is paper thin. A small criticism or a minor setback knocks you straight into a panic attack or a week-long depression. You can't manifest a big life if your window is too small to hold the energy of that life. Think of it like a light bulb. If you try to run 220 volts through a bulb designed for 110, it's going to pop. Most people are praying for high voltage success, but their biological bulb hasn't been upgraded to handle the current. They aren't ready for the light. This is why you often self-sabotage right when things are getting good. You get the job offer or the perfect date, and suddenly you start an argument or get sick. That's your nervous system trying to lower the voltage because it feels too intense. To expand your manifestation, you must expand your window of tolerance. You do this by proving to your body, in small doses, that good feelings are safe. You have to train your nerves to sit with the discomfort of being happy without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Let's talk about luck. We've all seen that person who just seems to get every break. Science suggests this isn't random, it's neurochemical. When you are in a ventral vagal state, your brain is bathed in a specific cocktail of dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. High serotonin levels actually increase your pattern recognition. It makes you more likely to see the connection between two unrelated ideas, which is the literal definition of a breakthrough. Stress, on the other hand, makes your thinking rigid and linear. In a survival state, your brain is looking for predictability. It wants to know exactly what's going to happen. But manifestation requires possibility, the ability to see what could be rather than what is. You cannot see a miracle through the eyes of a soldier. This is the winner effect. When you win, your brain releases testosterone and dopamine, which makes you more likely to take the next risk and win again. But it all starts with the nervous system signal that it is safe to win. If you don't reset your system, you are essentially trying to win a race while your brain is pumping losing chemicals into your blood. You feel heavy, slow, and pessimistic. Your biology is literally convincing you that trying is a waste of precious energy. Here is the most unseen part of manifestation: other people. Everything you want, that capital, that client, that love, usually comes through another human being. And humans are biologically hardwired to detect the state of your nervous system. We have something called mirror neurons. When you walk into a room, people read your vagus nerve. If you are in a state of sympathetic hustle or dorsal shutdown, people feel an instinctive ick. They don't know why, but they don't want to work with you. You can say all the right things and have a perfect pitch, but if your body is screaming, "I am in danger/lack," they will feel it. This is why desperate energy is the ultimate repellent. Desperation is a signal of a deregulated, survival-based system. However, when you walk into a room in a ventral state, calm, regulated, and open, people feel safe around you. Their own nervous systems co-regulate with yours. You become a magnet because you are offering them something their bodies crave: safety. However, when you walk into a room in a ventral state, calm, regulated, and open, people feel safe around you. Their own nervous systems co-regulate with yours. You become a magnet because you are offering them something their bodies crave: safety. Most manifestation advice tells you to take inspired action. But if you've ever sat at your desk for 4 hours staring at a blank screen, you know that inspiration doesn't just show up on command. This is what I call the action gap. The action gap happens when your mind wants to go forward, but your body is in freeze. To your nervous system, action feels like exposure. If I do this, I might be judged. If I do this, I might fail. So, the body stops you before you start. You call it procrastination. I call it protective immobility. Your body is trying to save you from the perceived threat of being seen. By resetting your system before you work, you eliminate the friction. Action becomes a natural byproduct of your state. Think about a cat. A cat is perfectly relaxed until the moment it needs to pounce. It doesn't try to pounce. It just flows from rest to action. That is how manifestation should feel. If it feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill, your hardware is misaligned. When you use the physiological sigh or vagal toning before a big task, you move your body out of freeze and into social engagement. Suddenly, the email is easy to write. The phone call feels light. You aren't forcing, you are flowing. You might be wondering, do I have to do these resets forever? The answer is both yes and no. Initially, you are breaking a habit. You are training your nervous system to find a new normal. This is the process of neuroplasticity. Every time you catch yourself spiraling and you choose to regulate instead, you are physically strengthening the neural pathways of the ventral vagal state. You are building a bigger window of tolerance. You are literally evolving your biology. After about 30 to 60 days of consistent regulation, your baseline shifts. You'll find that things that used to trigger you, like a low bank balance or a late client, simply don't have the same power over you. You stay in solution mode longer. This is the point where manifestation becomes your default setting. You don't have to visualize for hours because your life has become a living visualization. Your RES is now a permanent ally, filtering for growth without you even asking it to. But remember, you cannot think your way out of a physiological state. You must act your way out. You must use the tools. You must prioritize your internal safety over your external productivity. Because without the first, the second is just a slow road to burnout. If you've been waiting for a sign to stop struggling, this is it. Your dreams aren't far away. They are just blocked by a nervous system that is trying too hard to protect you. Thank your body for its service, and then show it a new way to live. Now that you've cleared the static, it's time to give that bouncer in your head, your RAS, a new set of instructions. I've broken down the specific neurological cheat codes to reprogram your filter in this video right here. Click this, and let's move forward together.